Thank you. This is some of what I'm talking about, where you find more on the private side than on the public side the real solutions that work. And I would certainly commend several of the organizations that, frankly, Rich has been key with, House of Neighborly Services, Habitat for Humanity, and not only here in Loveland, but their Habitat has a good, strong effort up in Fort Collins, down in Berthoud, up in Estes Park. Larimer County has some real positive solutions that really have gone a long way to address this problem of people's need for housing. But let me dig a little bit deeper as well, because the problem is, A, they don't have a job, and B, housing is too expensive. Now, we cannot just assume that those will be the givens. That is where public policy really needs to address the issue. And far too often, what we do is we drive up the cost of housing with innumerable new programs and policies, rather than always asking ourselves, will this make it more difficult for people to own their home? Property taxes, here's a good example. 3 years ago, the legislature passed a mill levy property tax freeze, which effectively drove up the cost of property taxes for the people of Colorado by over $100 million a year. And they did it in defiance of the Constitution as well, which said if you're going to raise taxes, you better ask the people. Those are policies that I stand against because the people of Colorado cannot afford it. Look at this, this chart I showed you before. The policies that the state of Colorado has had for the last several years has in fact maintained a pretty healthy job pattern if you're a public sector employee. But for the rest of us, it's been dropping like a rock, and it continues to. Just yesterday, the quarterly report came out, and we're another 200 million or so further upside down than we thought we were. That's not just because the economy is falling, it's because the policies for the state of Colorado is pushing the economy further and further south. I believe that jobs are the real issue before us today, and when it comes to homelessness, it's just such a close nexus that it is the obvious first step that we can address at the state level. Increase the environment for businesses, and not just limited, you know, like they talk about green jobs. Well, they ignore the fact that they threw out the oil and gas industry to give the best jobs. We need to change that.
All right,